What's going on, everybody? It's Jay, aka It's Ghost Story, back with another Phantom Parade commentary video. So today, I've been getting asked this question a lot. 0.2 GOJO versus the Half Annie banner. And I'm here to tell y'all, despite the fact that you clicked on this video, the title and thumbnail is a little bit misleading because I am not going to just give you one solid, coherent answer on what you should do, because there is a lot of nuance that goes into these arguments, and I'm going to try and tackle every single position possible to assess everybody's needs, everybody's wants, who you should summon for, who should you prioritize, etc. Right? So I'm going to go through each unit presented here. We're going to break down the pros, we're going to break down the cons, and we're going to kind of level things out. Because here's the thing. A lot of you guys have been asking me, like, yo, Jay, should I summon on 0.2 or should I skip for Half Annie? Or it's like, I'm going to summon for 0.2, but I'm concerned what's going to happen for Half Annie. And I don't have a 100% coherent answer because I believe that there are strong arguments for both banners. So I'm going to execute arguments from both sides. I'm not going to say devil's advocate per se, because I do believe both of these arguments that I will be presenting for Half Annie and for 0.2 GOJO. So this is going to be a more argumentative, ramble-based type video, so you can put me in the background. I'm going to discuss each unit's kits. I'm going to discuss the banners. We're going to do everything. So first things first, let's talk about the pros and cons of each banner. Right? For a pro for 0.2 GOJO, for paid players, he's going to have tickets. There might even be a chance that he has great value tickets. I know that the blue Yuta that we had great value tickets. Secret shop tickets also appeared for the first anniversary characters as well. So there might just be an abundance of paid options that are like very heavy for this banner, especially because it's a GOJO and it's a limited unit. That is a plus. A negative is that 0.2 GOJO is the only featured unit on the banner. Now, this may only be a negative for newer players that are starting out, the ones that don't have a very fleshed out box yet. This is a big issue because it kind of comes into this form of argumentation where it's like, to be completely fair, if I were to say not even which, but out of the 3 units on Half Annie, there is only one that remains consistently in the meta, and that is Yellow Yuji, which I find hilarious because when these units were coming out, Yellow Yuji was the most dogged on out of the 3. People were saying to skip this guy. I did not believe the propaganda. I went pretty heavy-handed on him. He remains the best out of the 3 in this current meta, and I don't think that's going to change for a fair bit. Next would be GOJO, Half Annie GOJO. He has a place on a specific team, on a specific floor, but he is almost completely irrelevant, if not wholeheartedly irrelevant, in Hard Suite. 100%. And on top of that, when you are using him, when you hit that 70 plus range in tower, you can only use him on red stages. And even then, you can't really use him on floor 83. You're probably throwing if you're using him on floor 83 to be specific, because it's a buff stage, not a debuff stage. So his main viability is like what, floor 72 and floor 86. So it's a very far gap. However, this GOJO in all other aspects of content is very strong. So from like tower floor 1 all the way up to right before the ultimate cuts start happening for off-color teams, this GOJO, you could smack him on quite literally any team and you would make it work. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why they've been trying to push this unit so far away out of the meta, is because when he came out, you could use him as a solve-all for quite literally everything. You could use him to get a head start on maybe normal sweep. You could clear all, like when GOJO came out, the new tower stages was like, what, 51 through 60? You could clear all content in the game doing that. Even like 61 through 70. No problem just smacking him on quite literally any team to help clear said content. And on top of that, just general farming. Usually when I'm farming with like red, this unit isn't afraid to spam his AoE skills, which hits pretty okay, but the fact that it's a multi-hitting AoE, it works out for farming, okay? But this unit has like 2 very hyper-specific late-game instances of usage, and then falls off for the rest of quote-unquote end-game content. But I would say not really totally fall off, because, for example, for SP30 JOJO, the event that recently came to the game, there was also a viable strat using him to help clear that. And I would say for the limited tower floors where he does have a space, he can work. However, due to the mass, and I mean the mass amount of red supports that are being added to the game, I don't even think about this character 9 times out of 10 when I'm making a red team anymore. So that is a very substantial issue with this character. Yes, he is usable throughout all early content. And when I'm saying early content, I'm like tower floor 1 through like, you know, the 70s. And I'm like the 70s via red stages, okay? But once you get to like the very end of content, this unit hits a hard wall. And then you use it for like 86, and then I haven't bothered to use him since. So if you're a newer player, you will benefit vastly from this Gojo, 100%. However, if you are a endgame player who maybe has been summoning on a, you know, across a couple support banners, maybe you got Rapid Escape Megami, maybe you got Mahito, this unit wouldn't really add much to your box. Would he make things just maybe a little bit easier? Of course. I mean, his ultimate is still a very, very valid ultimate. Stun, unlimited void status, like ultimate count decrease on the boss plus 200% damage taken increase. Like, it's a very good ultimate. But the problem is that a good ultimate does not save this unit at all. Because there's also just flat out other units that can build up very high, you know, debuffs or buff numbers as well. Like, this is impressive, but it's not as impressive as it was back during the beginning when he came out. So this is kind of like the weird situation that this Gojo is in. He is strong, but it's like he hits a hard wall. Now next is Yuji. Like I said in the beginning, Yuji is like the most valid option out of the 3 because he's so prevalent. There's not really any free-to-play yellow taijutsu options. And by free-to-play, I mean standard picks. I mean, let me look at it real quick. So I'm not... Well, Nanami and Mechamaru, yes. In fact, you can use Mechamaru to clear basically every single hard content in the game. The only content I haven't personally seen yet is hard sweep. But after seeing like a sweep of clear from Rizzler, I firmly believe like if you had like Kusakabe on the team with like a fully decked out Mechamaru, you could clear hard sweep. So this unit isn't 100% necessary because there is free to play options for yellow taijutsu. I just forgot off the top of my head. But this unit is the most consistent for yellow taijutsu. If you want a consistent damage dealer, you want somebody that's like popping off black flashes, absolutely mauling bosses, like tearing them in half, walking through enemies. This is your guy. I know a lot of people that started the game late. They got yellow Toji as their taijutsu, and they're like, oh my lord, like, I need Yuji. And it's like, all I could say is, this unit has aged very gracefully. Very gracefully. Not only is he effective in hard sweep still, to this day. If you guys see my yellow hard sweep video, I used this unit as my main DPS. And even on my Kusakabe showcase video, where I also did another hard sweep clear, Yuji was my main DPS. So you could clear hard sweep with this unit. The limited tower floors for yellow have been leaning very heavily towards Jujutsu these past couple of months, so he hasn't seen much usage in the limited tower floors. But for every single taijutsu yellow stage in the game, if you have him, he is the answer. Flat out. However, it may just be very difficult for newer players to get like the fullest extent out of the unit because let me just go. We're gonna go to Illusory Tower real quick, and I'm gonna look at floor 84. Because here's the thing. I know that people have cleared this stage with A1, but I don't think I've seen it done with A0. So I'm not 100% sure if you can get an A0 floor 84 clear. Maybe if you had Kusakabe. So if you had like Shoko, Kusakabe, Yaga, A0 Yuji, you can most likely beat it. But that would also predicate on you having Kusakabe as well. But I feel like this unit heavily strives at A1 status. So A1 and above, glorious unit, literally untouchable in terms of yellow taijutsu, right? And he is the most, I guess, free-to-play friendly option because he has reappeared the most. Toji has reappeared, but he's only reappeared on paid banners. So this unit is still not only the best option in the game for yellow taijutsu, he is the most free-to-play, in quotation marks, friendly unit in terms of like using your cube spending power. Because not only does he reappear more often, but he has reappeared on, in quotation marks, more powerful banners. So he is a valid, super valid option. The only thing I would say is that this unit, for like general farming purposes, he is because he's just a taijutsu unit and like he gets his main damage bonuses when he's in his zone state after he pops ultimate, he's going to be a slow farmer. So like if you're farming the game in the background, he's going to be pretty slow. But a lot of people don't really focus on the farming aspect of the game. They're more focused on the tower or the sweep portion of the game. This guy has both of that covered, and I'm about to cough. Holy. But this guy has both of those covered. The only thing as well that I also would see difficulty for people with this unit is that I wouldn't say you 100% need this, but this unit also strives off of having an established team to work with. So what I mean by an established team is that he is a main DPS, but he is a selfish main DPS. So like it's not like he buffs the rest of his team. It's not like he's defending the team. He is like, you put a team in front of him that's going to give him the best ability to do a ton of damage, and then you're just going to let him rock, right? So like if you don't already have like an established team, like you don't have Domain Megami, if you don't have Yaga, if you don't have like, what is it, Junpei's SP, Kaido, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't have Shoko, you don't have Kusakabe. Like this unit may fall behind for you statistically speaking, but I would still say overall, like I'm just going to spoil it, he is the strongest out of the three choices on the half Annie banner, and I stand 10 toes deep on this. I'm not moving my position unless the meta changes otherwise. This guy means the most out of the three, despite the fact that when he released, everybody's like, oh, skip the Yuji, skip this Yuji, everybody go to Gojo, everybody go to Gojo. Reactionary. Absolutely reactionary takes. The fact that this unit aged out so much quicker because content was changing, this unit was built to survive this current meta. Back in the day, there was a lot of nuke-focused content. This unit not only can pump out a pretty crazy ult number off rip, but then he's following it up with crazy ult numbers. Not ult numbers, skill 3 numbers. Right? Because if you watched my my hard sweep video, this Yuji can pop like a 25 mil ultimate. Right? He could pop a 25 mil ultimate, which is, again, crazy, because that's not even supposed to be his main source of damage, because he can keep popping up with exercising combo 2 times in the same turn for 2 turns. So 4 attacks, 2 turns. Bosses are going to get shredded. Break bars are going to get shredded. This unit is him. The anti-Yuji propaganda back in the day, definitely one of the funniest things to look back on, because look at how greatly he aged. But finally, on the half Annie banner, you have Sukuna. And y'all know me, man. Well, for the people that have been watching, I glazed this unit's prime. Back when he was here, like before the great, how do I say this, meta change, he was Himi. He was Himi. When tower floors 51 through 60 were here, you put this unit on any floor, color disadvantage, he's still clearing. It doesn't matter. Let alone combining this Gojo and Sukuna. There is no content in the game from floor 1 through 60 at minimum that you are not clearing using that Sukuna. Okay? Combining them both together is ridiculous. Like, a lot of content that people are stuck on currently in my Discord server that are new players, if you had the combination of these two, the content would be irrelevant. Like, y'all would, like, it's like a free pass to floor 60. These two combined is a free pass to floor 60. Here's the problem, though. This unit fell out of the meta even harder than Gojo and Yuji. Because at least he still has a place on floor 86. At least he still has a place on, like, quite literally every single piece of yellow hard taijutsu content in the game. This man has no place. He has no home. I've only used this unit once, and it's February, so I haven't used this unit in a month because of, like, I used him during the limited tower floors for January. But even before that, I haven't used Blue Sukuna in forever because there was no reason to. Especially after Blue Yuta released, there was no reason to use Sukuna anymore. Blue Yuta is a part of this current meta where you need very consistent damage dealers. This Sukuna, there's a lot of characters in this game that has a nuker's kit, and when I say a nuker's kit, it's that they need a lot of setup time to get optimal performance, unless you're, like, doing a very hyper-specific strategy to try and clear bosses out as quickly as possible. He needs time. And the problem is, with later tower floor content, you do not have time, okay? And on top of that, floor 81, he can't be used. It's a Jujutsu stage, and if you apply dots to the boss heals like 21 million HP per turn. He's quite literally unusable. I've heard people say that you can use Sukuna on floor 85. I haven't attempted it myself. Maybe I will in the future because I am still, like, trying to fully max him out. I've been doing that, like, on the side. But this unit fell off so hard. Like, even though, like, he begun, like, the true, I guess you could say, laceration meta, which is, like, again, like, he's not the first character with dots. We had Junpei and we have Jogo. But, like, Sukuna was the first unit where dots were like, oh, okay, this is very serious. This is, like, really pushing towards the new meta in the game. And he was, for JP at least, he was the best DPS for at least half a year straight. But for global, it didn't seem like that because we were getting content rushed out so quickly. So Sukuna was kind of only in his prime for like 3 months for us, right? This unit fell off hard. He fell off hard. Mind you, if you are a new player, he will work for you in most general content. I wouldn't even say he's like a valid choice for hard sweep. Not even close. Again, he takes too much setup. And the only hard sweep clears I've seen done with Sukuna, you want to know who they had? They had 0.2 GOJO on the team. So it's not happening. It's not happening. This guy fell off hard. His prime was phenomenal. If you do pull him on the hypothetical, the tower stages from 1 all the way to, because I say 70, like, even when, like, he's fully maxed out, I still say 79 is a pretty hard bargain for him, for the most part. Like, I would say, like, you are going to have a little bit of RNG madness on floor 79. But other than that, like, you can use him for, I would say, majority. Because obviously, I feel like if you're able to go up to 79, that does count as majority of content in the game. In fact, like, again, from 1 through 60, like, even off color disadvantage, he makes things very simple, very brain dead because of his laceration effect. But this unit struggles so much. He's not effective on hard sweep. On the higher tower floors, it feels like the game is purposely blocking you from not being able to use him. That they were definitely pushing the Blue Yuta agenda. And I mean, Blue Yuta is just flat out the better unit no matter what. Did I say hard sweep him? Hard sweep's not really useful. He's not really viable on limited tower floors because, I mean, the limited tower floor this month is taijutsu. Last month was jujutsu. So even then, like, he's being used on very weaker content. And even then, the jujutsu stage for that month for limited tower, it was 2 bosses, but both of those bosses didn't even have like a combined health bar of 100 million. So it wasn't even close to what like the standard boss, not even close to standard, because we have like over 200 million HP bosses as a norm now. So we don't even truly know how wild this unit can get. But it's not going to be possible. I mean, for general farming purposes, he can be pretty cool, I guess, but he's a single target. Unless he's in domain. Like, he's cool, but like he's currently the weakest out of the 3, which is crazy because beforehand, like, it was like inverse. The community was inverse about this. Beforehand, it was like blue Sukuna GOAT, red Gojo, he's also GOAT, and then Yuji's like, oh yeah, I guess Yuji's there. But nowadays, it's the reverse. Yuji GOAT, Gojo okay, Sukuna bad. It's wild. Absolutely wild. But then it brings me to 0.2 GOJO. Now, this unit, I have very strong opinions on this unit when he first released, and I'm going to say this flat out right now. My opinions on this unit has not changed whatsoever. I still wonder what is the point of his existence to a certain extent. Don't get me wrong. He is the strongest blue taijutsu unit in the entire game without a shadow of a doubt. Okay? But the issue is, speaking for newer players or players without well-defined boxes. Now, I don't even really want to focus on his general skills, because if you're running him on a blue stage, you're just going to absolutely speed right through it with no problem. Like, even if you get to Jujutsu stages, you could just spam skill 3 and call it a day. And if you have, like, even a little bit, a tiny bit of a powerful team behind him, you should be able to clear any content. Even just spamming skill 3. So, it's not that. And even in his ultimate, also as well, pretty valid, okay? The 150% damage received for 3 turns, very nice. Put my thumbs up for that. Maybe a smile on my face. But here's the thing. I saw this one YouTube video. I'm pretty sure it's from a Korean YouTuber. They said this one phrase, not even one phrase, but like this sentiment about both of these banners. And I agreed with it so much wholeheartedly, I'm going to say it myself in this video. The Half Annie banner is a foundation builder for your box. So even though these 3 units, right, one of them is just very blatantly better than the others, having the 3 of them in your box, I feel like elevates your potential to build teams by a large margin, okay? Just due to the fact that these are still very high value units, despite the fact, again, because like the content that I'm referring to, that I'm dogging on them on, is like content that 0.1% of the player base is on. And I know a lot of my core audience members are people that are in that 0.1%. Shout out to everybody that's from 81 and above. But there is also a large aspect of my audience that aren't even remotely close to that content. So people will benefit more from Half Annie as a foundation builder. 0.2 GOJO, what I can describe, is the cherry on top, right? He is like, not, you have to have like a great box, and then he's just like the perfect addition to just like screw a light bulb in on it and be like, Eureka, there's light, right? Because you could put 0.2 GOJO in your account, but a lot of new players are not realizing this. Are you missing Ghetto? Are you missing Miguel? You know what I'm saying? Are you missing Yuta? Right? Because there is so many foundational characters for blue that are limited. The 2 best support units / debuffer units for blue are limited. Ghetto and Miguel are both limited units. So if you are a new player and you don't have those 2 units, you won't even really be able to see the fullest extent of this Gojo. Not even. Now, am I telling you to skip Gojo off of that metric alone? No. But for the newest of new players, you have to really think to yourself, like, you have to have a foundation for your account. Because with these new players, they don't seem to realize, like, not all the time will one unit just be the solve all to every problem. Back in the day, he was the one solve all for every problem, and now the game purposely tries to take away that aspect for every single character. I feel like Sumzap is purposely cooking up in the lab, so there isn't a release a character and he's a solve all problem for every single content in the game. And 0.2 Gojo, he is not a solve all for every content in the game. He is just a great additive to an already existing strong, I guess, category of units. And when I say category, I mean the most meta units in the game. He assists Jujutsu stages alongside the strongest Jujutsu blue. You know, he assists Taijutsu because there isn't that much blue Taijutsu. I mean, you got blue Nanami, now Obito, which I don't have, but I will be getting him. Maki, who was also a very strong pick. I have her A0, can't wait to get more dupes. And even seen like people use Toto alongside 0.2 Gojo and get some pretty good results. Oh, and shout out my boy Blue Yuji as well, also the GOAT. But this is what I want y'all to analyze, okay? Because the reason why I'm not giving a solid, coherent answer is because I am not every single person that watches this video. Therefore, I can't assess for you what your needs are. But what I can do is make arguments from each and every single side to help you justify to yourself what would be the best for your account. So for the people that are still watching this video and you are considering my advice, I just want you to think, okay? There is still plenty of time between now and 0.2 Gojo. And even then, like, we don't know when the Half Annie rerun banner is going to come out. I mean, there could even be a time period where, like, maybe they announce Half Annie, like, right before 0.2 is about to leave. So, like, some of y'all could even, like, wait until right before 0.2 Gojo's banner is about to end and be like, oh, no Half Annie banner in sight, but I still want 0.2, then spend the cubes. Or even, let's say, if you were hypothetically a paid player. Being a paid player makes this significantly easier because, here's the thing. Back when Volume 0 did their triple banner of Miguel, Ghetto, and Yuta, I just did singles every single day on that banner, and I managed to get 2 dupes of Red Yuta and 1 dupe of Miguel, just off of singles, every single day. Now, when you're a paid player and you have the Celestial Pass, right? The Celestial Pass gives you a free single every single day, right? So if you're a paid player and for some ungodly reason you are not invested in the Celestial Pass, like, please just invest in it. Or if you just don't want to invest in it on a monthly basis, just invest in it specifically for the Half Annie banner or 0.2, because, again, they aren't, well, you're still the GOAT, but they aren't the greatest units in the world, but they do fill out a box very well. Okay, so that is my assessment. That is my, I guess you could say, back and forth for what I think is the most clear-cut, coherent arguments for everything going on. 0.2 Gojo, a very valid taijutsu unit. Very strong taijutsu unit, can assist jujutsu units wholeheartedly. But he is not a foundation builder. He definitely feels like an end game unit. You know what I'm saying? Something that would be like the cherry on top of an already established box. And these 3 are foundation builders. These 3 are going to be a strong core that will help build upon your account if you are a newer player. So I guess I could say for more experienced players, 0.2 Gojo. For the newer audience that, like, it's very, very free to play, I would say Half Annie, but my heart and soul would say try and do both, right? Try and do both maybe. But again, that's why I'm like letting y'all decide for yourself using like maybe my arguments or maybe your own arguments that you concocted in your head as you were listening to this video, because I'm so conflicted I just can't give one answer. So if anybody was running in the comment section like, oh my gosh, like what is your opinion on this thing? My opinion is Think for yourself. That is the best thing. Think for yourself. What do you think is going to work best for you? You know what I'm saying? If you watch this video and you're like, oh, I'm getting 0.2, that's cool. If you watch this video and you're like, oh, I'm going for half Annie, that is also very cool. But I don't want to make a 100%, you know, claim to a certain banner or a certain unit, because I am not y'all. I don't know what would benefit your box the most, and it's almost impossible for me to answer everybody's, you know, related questions or like analyze everybody's units to make that, you know, a firm decision. So I'm leaving this video up. Y'all can use the arguments as you wish. We'll leave it at that, okay? Y'all have a couple of days to prepare for 0.2. You feel me? So use those days wisely. But thank you guys for watching. If you did send, you know, well, not send, if you stood until the end of this video, if you enjoyed, please like, comment, perhaps even subscribe if you aren't subscribed. Join the Discord in the channel bio. I'm very active there for the most part, when I'm not working at least. I do enjoy interacting with every single one of you. Yeah, guys, it's been Jay, aka It's Ghost Story, and I will see you guys later.